Racing souls with fire inside, chasing dreams where the legends hide. Through the turns, the glory's real. Behind the wheel, we feel the thrill. Papa's house, the crown shines bright. Crazy lanes in the dead of night. Austin GT and Rigby's reign. Grim and the crew driving it insane. Erratic twists and Marley's groove, Magnani's grace with every move. Jackal flies and jesters grin. This is the race where we all begin. C20 wave, buzz the track. Touchies roll, there's no going back. Worries pace and TQ stride. Hill and digit, the kingdom's pride. Papa's house, the crown shines bright. Crazy lanes in the dead of night. Austin GT and Rigby's reign. Grim and the crew driving it insane. Carved on asphalt's face, racing royalty holds the space. We honor them, we join the scene. Our favorite racers, the speed supreme. Erratic twists and Marley's groove. Magnani's grace with every move. Jackal flies and jesters grin. This is the race where we all begin. Erratic twists and Marley's groove. Magnani's grace with every move. Jackal flies and jesters grin. This is the race where we all begin. Insane. 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 Erratic twists and Marley's groove. Magnani's grace with every move. Jackal flies and jesters grin. This is the race where we all begin.
What's up, y'all? What's up, man? It's your boy VKG. Let me turn this music off real quick. Let me get back. How you guys doing, man? It's good to see you guys. It's been like a month. I feel like it's at least been a month, and I think it has been a month since we were on here with TK's. What's up, Tony? What's up, Yaki? My boy, we're just saying, man. Arnout's a big fan of you. I'm a big fan of you. Amazing soul. Tony, Grovers, Monster Jam, J Loves, Dan. I see y'all. I saw Blank in there. Let's see. I saw SimRacing Arnout already jumped in there. Glad he's watching the chat. Summit, everybody who got the memberships, good to see y'all, man. I love you guys. It's been a while. And it's not for anything other than the grind. The grind has been real. You guys have seen that I've been out to Vegas for a week, to the CES Expo. I just did a 18-hour round trip with DCR Moto. So shout out to my brother Moto, man. We have grinded, y'all. So shout out to DOF Reality. You guys know it's a big sponsor of mine. Got a lot of stuff coming. I do have the base of the H3 here, the chair, and everything else is in the mail. It's going to arrive. So we will be building the H3 very soon, and we're going to be putting that on GT. We got the magic box, and we're going to be doing full motion in GT7 and then slowly transitioning into PC as things get better. Shout out to my boy Bill at Built PC, who's been helping me kind of get ready for this transition. Shout out to Ish with Moza and everybody that I've been chatting with. Pimax with Yob, like everybody who had us out there. Absolutely amazing. Even shout out to Track Racer and all those guys that we got to kick it with at the expo. Shout out to Master P for being out there. You guys saw that, all the pilots, all the amazing stuff that's going on. So I appreciate you guys for hanging on, watching the channel, supporting the channel. It was a big month. We had a video that went viral, so shout out to Critics Gaming. This dude showed up at the booth and wanted to do a scene, and I was like, yo, man, you should jump over me. And so we made this whole scene where he like jumps over me. You guys gotta check that video. It hit like 4 million views. Really some amazing stuff. And then about a month ago, I had one of my buddies, Mr. GT78, who you guys know really well. Awesome dude, great person, father, absolutely awesome, smart, bright mind. He told me, hey man, if you're going to be making this PC transition, you really need to reach out to this guy, SimRacing Arnout. And I was like, okay. So I started watching his videos and I was like, yeah, I want to go into LMU. I've had some history with ACC, and this guy is out here, you know, teaching you how to play the game, how to tune the cars, all this stuff. Just another bright mind that I hadn't heard of. So obviously, the first thing I wanted to do was introduce him to you guys. So without further ado, all the way from the Netherlands, let me introduce you to our friend, Mr. SimRacing Arnout. How you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for inviting me, man. Awesome. Um, yeah, I saw your channel and I saw your invite and the link with Jose, right? And I was like, okay, yeah, that's interesting. Let's do it.
Heck yeah, man. I'm
So,
excited that you're out here. I always like to know what the weather's like because being worldwide is crazy. So what's it like out in the Netherlands right now?
um, freezing cold actually for our doing. It's like in the nighttime, it's like -3, 4 at the moment, and very cold wind. Maybe
Jeez.
some ice skating this weekend on the yeah, I don't know, like we have this ice skating tracks. They like put um like pieces of land underwater for this time of year so we can ice skate on it.
Holy
So
smoke. They actually put land under. So like, that blows my
yeah.
mind. That blows
Yeah,
my
that's
mind.
but that's Holland. That's the Netherlands. I mean, there's so much like water treatment and levels. There's this whole like base center of like how this country is pumping water in and out of the country every day, because if it wasn't, then we would all be drowning by now. So
Right. I heard the
it's kind of
Netherlands
a
is pretty wet, right? It's a wet
yeah,
climate.
it's
Yeah.
like half
We've
the
got some
country.
friends of the Netherlands, man. We got Yaki in the chat. I know that Yaki's a good friend of yours, man. He's been on the show. He's a BTW alumni. But it's really awesome to meet you, man. I've heard a lot about you, and for the last 2 weeks, I've been kind of going through your videos and kind of understanding, getting to know you, from a creator side, and then obviously talking with you this week and getting to know your, like the you version of you, like the family, the father, just all the amazing things that you do with your mind and your hands. You're a welder, you're a technician. You've actually built out what you say is probably the heaviest in-home racing rig out there. So we got some awesome pictures of your rig progress. But you started
Awesome.
out kind of like everybody else. You said it was like 1992, right? When you started sim racing?
Yeah. So when the first PCs came out was a bit later, was like 97, but where we got like a first PC, it was like the 60 megahertz kind of a PC you got like with the floppy disks and stuff. And we started with that Micro Prose Formula One game, uh, and
It's
using the A and Z button, when you have the keyboard and you have like you had to use these buttons to accelerate and brake,
yeah,
whatever. And
quite the difference in immersion levels now. But still the
yeah,
same
but
adrenaline, right? It taps into the same adrenaline, like racing and competing. It's something that I'm super new to. I'm coming into like my second year, even
oh, okay,
knowing that
man.
this even exists. But you've been streaming for a while now. You started, I think, in April 2023, right? And you're already at
Yeah, yeah,
18.4 thousand subscribers. Evolving from that computer to the Moza R9, you're running SimMagic P1000s, GSV2, and then your rig by Arnout, a custom rig, which we're going to get into. Primarily focused on LMU now. You did a lot of
yeah,
ACC, went through the whole
yeah.
Forza franchise. Like I said, sim racing since 1992. Father, husband, welder, technician, sim racer, content creator. Like you're I told you earlier, you're like a man's man. You're like all of us out here chasing this dream, man. So what kind of inspired you to even jump on and be a content creator in the first place?
Well, so like it's interesting how it went to YouTube, really, but I do obsess over stuff. So if I like some subjects get me curious, and then I want to know everything about it from the inside out, bottoms up. I want to know everything about it when I'm like curious enough. Um, And my mother always used to say that that was kind of like a HDD trait, you know, you obsess too much over stuff. It's like it's too extreme what you're doing. But um, yeah, it's just a nature on how I enjoy stuff. So I would some like this is now something that is being pushed out, that YouTube idea that I got a lot of information from YouTube how to improve my life, improve like the quality of being a husband and a father and my health. I used to be a little bit fatter than I'm now. I'm really watching my weight and stuff. But I learned it on YouTube, and with the
YouTube
sim
University.
racing, yeah, well, that's it's my university. uh, and then I got some video on my feed how to create a YouTube channel, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. How they actually do this? And I don't know. It feels to me that the algorithm even pushed it like this could be an individual who wants to
You must have
create.
said it out
Like,
loud because you know the phones are listening. Like it's funny. Like me and
yeah,
Misa
yeah,
will, you know, my gal's name is Misa, so you'll hear me mention her a lot. She actually just walked in, but um, we'll say something, you know, like we'll be talking about, what the heck next house is going to be. And then we'll get like real estate ads, or we'll bring up like random things. And sometimes I'll test it. Like I'll talk about
yeah.
absolutely ridiculous, like specific things. And then I'll get an ad that pops up on my phone. So I'm sure, Amazon was listening or something and kind of filtered that in. Was there anybody who inspired you like in the beginning? Are there channels that, you're a big fan of that you kind of watch, or, who did you use to get that knowledge of like where to start and what to do?
Okay, yeah. So from the sim racing itself, that's kind of the reason why I started. I got great information from like different channels, you know, like the big channels. For instance, like I don't know if you ever heard of Kyle Engineer. He goes really into Formula One aerodynamics,
Okay.
and
That's a new one for me.
okay, yeah. So I don't know, Kyle Engineers. He explains stuff with like tires and suspension, and I watched other YouTubers like Niels Najux, and I was looking a little bit at Jardir, and I used these videos of them to kind of get to know what's happening. But most of it came out of live streams because I was searching for very specific ideas and stuff, and I just wanted to talk about it all day. But
Yeah.
my Erna, my wife, and my friends, and nobody cares. You know, nobody cares about sim racing. Nobody cares
Nobody in my
about.
life sim races. I'm the only one of my friends that has a sim rig. They all ask me about it,
Okay,
and they're all like, "Yeah, maybe I'll do that one day." But like, I
yeah,
had
yeah.
to make friends who sim race. Now I feel like I have hundreds of friends all over the world that sim race, so it
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
seem weird
yeah.
anymore. But
No.
I got recognized one time in public, the only time it ever happened, and I was in a Costco. And I hear some guy yell out over like Viking King, yo, what's up, man? I was like, and I look over, I was like, oh crap, like, and it happened to be Rick Slick, and he's in the channel, he jumps in all the time, really awesome guy, but he was like, yo, I follow your channel, man, and it was funny because to each other, it was such an exciting moment, and right, so obviously we're holding up the line, and at Costco, that's a big deal. And we're sitting there trying to explain what sim racing is to people, and like, no, it's more than like a video game. So like, wait, you play video games? It's like, no, but it's like simulation. It's really cool. Like da 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 da. So I
Yeah,
kind of feel like, funny sometimes when I'm explaining it to people, but everybody here loves it.
yeah, yeah. So I had to like share it. I had to share it somehow, and I got curious about YouTube and how to grow a channel. Um, and I wanted to share that knowledge because it was really frustrating for me to figure it out, you know. And you got really smart people. I think really people that are in the space doing sim racing, they all think it's so obvious. You know, duh, you need to do this with your force feedback. Don't you understand? No, no one understands. If you're
I have
starting
no
out, you
idea.
don't know. You need like basic videos that
Yeah.
explain basic stuff, and you're gonna have hundreds and hundreds of people wanting to see these videos because they want to know. At least that's what I believed, and it was like I had to learn YouTube, of course, because YouTube is a skill.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's constant trial and error, to be quite honest. You know, it's like, well, that didn't work, you know, and then sometimes I remember when I started, I tried to put so much onto like my overlays and just, you know, things, flashes going off and who donoed last. And let me make sure I got a YouTube ticker, and let me make sure I got this cam and a foot cam and a face cam and a rig cam. I was just like, this is way too much. This is a lot. I actually had to like go and take away from the channel quite a bit, and honestly just kind of cruise and enjoy being me. You know, we had talked a little bit earlier, like I had joked like, oh, I gotta go, you know, put my mask on and become VKG. But the funny thing is, like, this is me. You know, the relief in going out in September to the Sim Gaming Expo, and even, you know, to this expo and meeting creators, is like, most of them are just genuine, nice people. You know, they're just out here doing this because they love it, you know, and that's one of the vibes that I really like about, you know, your stream. And at the same time, as you're putting out a ton of knowledge. One of the things that you've come up with, I guess, before we go into some of the graphics, is you've created a website, SimRacing Arnout Shop, build your own car setup, right? Tell us a little bit about this website and kind of what this does for people.
So the website is basically, well, my products that I have created over time, and the idea was that
Appreciate
on the
you, Misa. Thank
website
you.
there will just be like car setups and stuff, and how to build car setups and have car setups, skill level car setups, because I used to be a consumer, or I used to be a customer of another car setup brand, and I used a lot of different setups, and they were never good. They were good, but they situational, you know. And then sometimes they would bite me, or sometimes they would be maybe understeery somewhat. And I really missed like a hierarchy in these setups. Like how does an alien, like an esporter, drive, and how does a beginner drive? It needs completely different settings to enjoy the racing itself. So I created videos, free videos, with this hierarchy of skill levels. And after enough engagement, people said, we want this for other cars. I want this for a Ferrari. I want this for a Porsche. I want this for a McLaren. And it's like, it's too much to do in videos.
Right.
And then people start saying, I want to pay you for this to create them. And I was like, dang, I need to like then create a product, I think, so people can pay for it. And the dream was always to stop welding, because I got kind of fed up with doing it for 20 years and wanted to do something else and wanted to do really my own thing. I was already freelancing, but you just replace one boss for 3 or 4 of them, so you're still a slave to the welding system.
And you're building somebody else's dream. You know, that's one aspect of to it, is you know, working for other people. You know, you kind of, if it's not purposeful, you know, for me, like, you know, I love working with children and doing what I do, but that purpose behind it is so important. You know, when I'm working for other people, like, I got to believe in that purpose. You know, when I get to do this for myself, it's like I'm chasing my own dream, and it really motivates me.
Yeah, but it's and then also it I got this. I'm following also a lot of people that inspire me, and like, for instance, Naval Ravikant. I don't know if you ever heard of that name, but that person said, you need to find something that you're so passionate about, where you can put in like 12 hours a day, and it will never feel like an hour of work.
Yeah.
Right? And then for everybody else, it's gonna look like, man, this guy is just grinding away, and he's like non-stop. How can he pull this kind of workload? Well, it first needs to not feel like work. Sure, there are a lot of things that, or a few things that I don't particularly like doing, but some things come with a little bit of a cost. But basically 90-80% of it is just pure enjoyment.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, that's the thing about, you know, working hard is again, when you're working hard for something that you want, you know, and I like hitting goals. I like hitting milestones, you know, and this month of, you know, and Mrs. Moto's in here and Misa's in here, and thank you, Misa, for the 5 gift. I appreciate you, love. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody who got memberships. But those two women can tell you just how hard me and Moto have worked over this last couple of weeks, and like grinding ourselves. You know, I had just I was looking back in the videos, just bags under my eyes, just dead tired. You know, and having to have so much energy, because that's what a trade show is. You got to have energy and talk to people and interact, and we're doing so much, but at the same time, like, we love this. This is something that we've fallen in love with. And me being in my background and in therapy and with all the people that I work with, you know, I'm trying to bring this into as many people's lives as I can, because as kind of a guy, like you said, I fulfill so many things that I like to do being at home with my family. Like, I've passed this on to my family. Misa sim races now. My daughters, you know, jump in it and play with it. You know, we got this motion coming, so we're gonna have like all this other cool stuff. You know, you're a big fan of VR, and you actually run in the Pimax crystal, so you kind of understand like where the industry's at right now with the immersion and just the clarity and realism, being able to go anywhere in the world from right here. And as somebody who just kind of, you know, you talked about, you know, losing your father at a young age. I lost my father at a young age, you know, not to him passing, but to, you know, him leaving. So family to me is like, I really love hanging out and being with my family. That's the kind of father that I am. So finding something that we can all do together that still tickles all my fancies. Like, I'm about to show the fabrication and all the things that you've put into building this rig. But the great thing is, like, you're at home. You know, what does your family think about, you know, this hobby and kind of the full-time content creation and this journey that you're going on? What is that support like, you know, from your wife and your kiddos?
Well, the best thing about it is that I can bring my kids to school every day and pick them up. And that was really important to me because before I had to leave early and I
Mhm.
would come home late, kind of exhausted, and then like the prime window of like you being exhausted, kids being exhausted in like from Monday till Friday, that would be the window where we were together.
Right.
And now I can enjoy the mornings with them because I don't have to be somewhere early. And then when they go to school and my wife goes to her job, then I can do the content creation and the testing and the setup stuff and all that, all those things. And my girlfriend or my wife, with girlfriend, I always call her girlfriend. We are kind of married system for the kids and everything, but uh, she supports whatever I do. She's always there for me. She doesn't fully understand. Sometimes people ask like, what is Arnoud doing? What is his job? Like, how is he supporting your family? And it's like, I don't know how to say it. And so you just call me a digital car mechanic,
Digital
you know?
car mechanic.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So
Thank you for that, because I need that. I need that. I need to be able to give that
so
tool to Misa to be able to describe what this is. It's digital car mechanics.
yeah, I don't know if it's yeah, that's the best thing I can come up with an audience, with a YouTube
Yep.
channel.
Yep.
Yeah. So
No, having that
uh,
support at home is huge. You highlighted some
yeah.
things that you know, that really hit home for people who dream about becoming a full-time content creator, right? It's the dream of being able to do what you want to do from your space under your control, and it's giving your family the lifestyle that they deserve. And there's so many pieces that go into that, and I'm sure in the background, you know, that there's probably methodology to it. You know, after talking with Rory and having him on here and kind of hearing how his daily grind is, you know, he wakes up, turns the computer on, he hits the coffee pot, you know, he sends the boys off to
Hmm.
school, he comes in, he makes a short every morning. You know, he set
Yeah.
a schedule Monday, Wednesday, Friday for a
Yeah.
specific
Yeah.
amount of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Tries it. Do you have a method and a system now that you're full time, and kind of break down what that decision was like to go full time into all of this, and just how'd you start it's a business now? Like, what is it to you?
Well, the like it, I'm not gonna lie, you know, there's needs to be. I don't want to eat out of a dumpster, so there's need to be money and need to be some yeah there need to be some sort of cash flow and it needs to come from the website. So the idea was and is still and will continue to be the idea that what I'm doing is that I want to give people the free version of it on YouTube by listening to the content, the ideas that I have, the systems that I'm using, and giving people the opportunity to get the shortcut on the website to get skill level
And you do
setups
have
all
free
set
stuff
up.
on the website too. Like I was
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. I
I
have
was
some
just
free,
noticing that.
yeah, some free stuff just to also to test it out. And like sometimes there's always this, and this is probably the hardest thing I had to overcome, is that like you need the support from the community, and the community needs to or give memberships or use your affiliate links or buy your products that you're offering. And I really believe if it's good enough, then people will buy it and they will be happy with it, and it's a good transaction. And that's the most challenging thing I had to learn, because if you're not, you need a product to sustain, and if you're not building your own, you're building somebody else's product
Right.
indirectly as well. So there's always a product involved, and yeah, I just try to make it as good as possible. Today I added a complete race endurance strategy guide to every setup pack. So people that already got one, they just get that for free added. Like I just try to add so much value to the website, to the products, and then I make videos about what I've learned in the meanwhile. So currently I'm really into the gray. There's like this gray line in car setups, like car setup theory in real race cars and in the simulation, because those are two different things, right? And when you go really deep into the theory, you see that the simulation is kind of always failing because it cannot replicate the real thing. You
Right.
get close enough, I'd say. But yeah, and now I'm building this last video about dampers. It's like blowing up, like 20K.
Where did all this knowledge come from? Like when you sometimes I'm sitting and I'm listening and I'm just in awe, and the more I look at the website I'm like, holy cow, like I really actually have to use this now, because I'm making this transition into like LMU ACC, you know, trying to be more of a legitimate sim racer. Not to say that GT7 or console is not legit, it's the gateway sim, you know. It's like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
learn
yeah.
enough if you really want to dive into it more, or if you don't. But when you get into the PC side, there's a lot more to it. You know, like hearing you talk about these tunes and the car setups and things like that, I'm like, wow, this is going to be a big transition. What do you say to the beginners like me who are coming into this, and why you, like, where did this knowledge come from?
So um, the car setup building was already a really fun thing to do in the Forza editions, where you could swap engines and choose like tire width and quality, and then you could, like in Forza 7, I did like for thousands of hours, like creating car setups, like building cars. There was like this B and A class cars, and you could put like swap different engines, and it would go to a certain class with certain parts on it, and then you could tune it to your liking, right? And I just like the idea of cars out of the box when you start out. Some cars are good, and then they call it a great beginner car. But you might have a complete distaste for, let's say, a BMW. So you really want to drive a McLaren, for instance. But that car is maybe hard to drive. So with a better setup, you can also enjoy the McLaren, even though if you're like a slow driver or not really experienced, or you have trouble with braking or whatever, you can still enjoy these cars with the right setup. And that's really how I think about the sim racing, how to like enjoy it better, basically. And if you're just starting out and you don't know anything about setups, then I mean, you can always try to tweak one variant and start usually doing the practice. You're always gonna practice anyway. There's this myth about you first need to know what you're doing,
What's
and
up,
you
TC?
cannot really touch the setup because you're not consistent, blah blah blah. None of all that. You
Right.
just if you drive laps and you have kind of a plan, I have like a million newsletters about this, but when you're saying it right now, I'm already thinking there should be like an even better beginner guide for the setup
Yeah,
stuff if
like
you're inexperienced. Yeah.
where would you recommend like I started? You know, like I'm just buying the game LMU. I'm just getting going. What are some, you know, like key points? Like, do you have videos that kind of point you in that direction?
Yeah.
Where would I
I have
go
two
to?
video. Yeah, I have two videos about the fixed setup changes you can make. So if you want to race online or you want to do practice sessions, your TC, brake bias, and ABS settings are the first things you can tweak to make the car
Ah,
feel different on brakes, throttle, and those kinds of things. I have 3 videos about this, 2 videos actually, and um, getting laps under your belt is the most important thing, and I think the most important thing is to not spin.
right. What are some
And
of the
then
big differences? Because I know coming from the console side, like I'm not going to say like it hasn't prepared me at least with some track knowledge, you know, some general car
oh yeah,
knowledge, you know,
yeah.
apex, you know, identity, you know, trail
Mhm.
braking, things like that. But what's like the drastic difference? Is it the tuning itself, or is it just understanding what you're tuning when you get into these games?
Yeah, well, so if you have like the racing from and you're coming from like Gran Turismo, I myself I did never play Gran Turismo, but I hear a lot of stories, same as like Mr. GT, right? He said like if you once go Assetto Corsa, then you cannot go back to GT7. At least that's what he said. I have seen this comment floating around a few times. Um, yeah, it's gonna be so much more car dynamics. So it's so much more focused on the realism and load transfer and like tires actually give up because you abuse them. They
Right.
wear out. You need to refuel. You need to think about temperatures. It's just this is the thing with gaming. I think a lot of gamers who like race car games and you're searching for the depth and you're going to have way more depth in the simulation and to the point where things are still sometimes unclear. At the moment for me in the braking zone, like the initial braking, should I brake immediately 100% or should I do 95% and then 100? Or should I do the slope more on the initial? Or should I change the brake pressure to make the best braking zone? So it's still unclear sometimes. So, and
It's
that's the
wild.
beauty.
The more I
That's the
dive into
beauty
it,
of it.
like it's funny
Yeah.
because I'll have a good, you know, session of qualifying or just feel like I'm in a zone, and then I'll jump back on a couple days later, and it's so funny, like I'll be like halfway through another session and then I'll remember something that I was supposed to remember from the last session. I'm like, oh yeah, duh, geez, like how how would you say, like, how many years have you put into this before you felt like confident to be kind of the guide for people? Like, where, because I know I can't really give advice. I'm not there, but I do know that in other areas of my life, you know, I coach a lot of people. You know, I'm a master elite certified trainer. You know, I work with a lot of kiddos and a lot of people, and I'm confident in those areas, and I speak very well. Like, when did you decide that, all right, I'm going to put out content to help others, and I'm ready to start coaching others? And why?
Um,
Why help everybody else?
why not? That's
My
that's
guy.
lame.
No, that is the
No, but
perfect
really, I mean,
answer.
it's beautiful. I had also in the welding that I did, in the jobs and the youngsters, the trainees that start out. I don't know. We are humans. We need to share knowledge. We need to share. It's in our DNA, right?
It
I
is.
believe that really. There's some layer of desire to teach somehow. And I'm not saying I'm the best teacher. There's a lot of smarter people than me. Like if I look at some um, people that come up with ideas and explain stuff, I'm like, oh my god, like I'm not. I can better quit my channel after seeing this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this is
There's
so smart.
I tell
There's
people,
levels to it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
got like I get people sometimes who ask like, hey, you know, like how do you come up with like original content, or like why do I get on? There's all kinds of people teaching people stuff. Everybody's doing
Yeah.
this or everybody's doing that, and it's like, you know, when you walk into a grocery store, there's there's a shelf full of different flavor sodas and different flavor candies, and it's all the same thing. But those people don't stray away from what they're doing because somebody is already doing it. Like, you're gonna have your community no matter what. You know, I feel like
Yeah,
Behind the
yeah.
Wheel has inspired all these podcasts that are popping up, and people are talking to each other now, and it's becoming bigger and greater than the game. And I think that's what you did, is you made something that was bigger than the game. Obviously that was valuable. You know, that's the whole thing about being, you know, an entrepreneur and a business person, is making something that's valuable, but doing something that you love to do, where it doesn't feel like you're working. And then when you get to help people, that's just an added bonus to all that. And I think it really drives us, and it motivates us. And you've had a lot of success in the last, you know, really 2.5, 3 years, with the channel growing and your
Oh, well,
content becoming more valuable. Like, what does that feel like?
yeah. Like, also it looks maybe like 18K subscribers now. The last 1,000 were from the last week or
Wow.
two, because of this great compounding effect of me understanding YouTube better, and the content and what is valuable, and to try to keep people in my videos, which is kind of important. Um, and then it starts to compound. So, but the difference is, if you see all these subscribers and you see some success, the mental part of like keep doing it and hesitating and like questioning yourself, like I maybe I come across like a very like certain person, but I'm questioning things like, should I post this video because I'm not sure if people are gonna appreciate this, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's also a lot of doubt and a lot of fear involved as well. Uh, but then the alternative is to do nothing.
Right. And I mean,
That's just such a waste,
yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
a video that you don't post gets no views, you know? And it's like,
Yeah,
I
and
like when
yeah,
Rory says, like, you know, just post it, get to the next video, you know, get to the next
yeah,
video, get to the next
yeah,
video.
that's yeah.
You know, you hear like big YouTubers and content creators like Mr. Beast and stuff, like, you know, don't reach out to me till you got 1,000 videos, you know, like, put
Yeah,
in the
well, it's
work, put in
true.
the time.
Yeah, yeah, it's and you gotta love making videos, and you got a lot of people that really love sim racing, and they also uh, love making videos,
Mhm.
but they don't improve. So they have 1,000 videos, and they still get like 900 views per video, which is fine. And it's about goals, you know. If you have a goal, I want to get to 100K someday.
Yeah.
And if I want to get there, then I need to improve,
You
because
got
the
to understand.
competition is insane in the top. It's hard, you know. Like, look at Jimmy Broadbent.
Yeah.
He gets like 100K views in every video he makes. It's a real skill. That guy is not
Really.
like, he's funny, and is a great laugh. You know, it's a good energy. But there's a lot more involved than just a good guy and making a nice video. There's
Yeah, there's
so much
so
more.
much that when you talk to these guys, you know, and I've met a couple of them in real life, you know, and obviously talked to a lot of them behind the scenes. And if your goal and ambition is to, you know, create a business out of this, you know, you realize how business minded these guys are. There's so much more than just the content creation. And I've heard people, you know, worry about the way they look, or the way, you know, this or the people aren't going to like me. Like, there's no form, shape, or size to who a creator is. It's, do you love
No.
it? Does it come out? Does the passion come out over the camera, you know, and your content, you know, how do you treat people? There's a lot to it. You know, is there anything that you would say is kind of, you know, your creme de la creme? Is there something that you would say that you do really well that you try to pass on to people?
Well, you mean as if they would want to create,
Yeah,
or
just
mean like,
kind
well,
of
how do
like,
you?
what do you think your style is, you know, like, why do you think that you've been able to kind of build this the way that you have? Is there, you know, is there anything that you try to make sure your channel adheres to? You know, I'm a big family man, so sometimes it's difficult to, you know, watch my emotions, and you know, watch the things that I say, because I know that my kids are watching, and I feel like I could do more things to kind of, you know, if I wanted to bring in more people, but my staying true to myself and to my family has been like, well, I'm not going to curse on stream, or I'm not going to,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
drink or do anything like
yeah,
that, because I want to be true to myself. So like,
yeah, yeah.
is there a battle that you have there? Do you feel like, oh, I got to do this to bring in people, or
No,
maybe you just don't
no,
care?
no, no. Well, look, it's I learned this from Dan Coe, and I don't know if you know that guy, but he's like some
Definitely seen the
individual
channel.
that's really successful. And he says like, if you have a great message to share and you think and you feel like everyone should know, then you should practice persuasion. And persuasion is not like seduction or like trying to fool people, but I really believe if you like trigger people into understanding something, a very deep technical concept, but to make that fun and to speak to the people, to the viewers itself, because they're all individuals with struggles. And if I can point out these struggles, then they're gonna feel spoken to. And then that, as a result, they'll stay in the video and listen to the content, apply maybe what they learned. And if then a good thing happens, then that's how you kind of build the brand, because you want to give people stuff that works. And that's a little bit how I look at it. And I'm not, the way I think I can a little bit differentiate from others is that I don't try to be someone else. So I see other streamers sometimes, not always, that they like on thumbnail creation, for instance, I see a lot of stuff gets copied.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I was going through that,
and
especially at the beginning. I actually was
yeah,
using
but of
other
course you
people's
need to
thumbnails, not
copy
knowing how
first.
popular they were. I was,
Yeah, but you need to copy something. Just need to start
yeah,
to try to do something and see if it works. Now, if you copy Jimmy Broadbent, for instance, it's not going to work,
yeah,
because Jimmy can use his face in a thumbnail because everybody knows Jimmy,
right,
you
right,
know?
right.
But you can't do it. If I do it, maybe I get some
Dude,
viewers that always watch my
it
stuff, they
was
will click.
so hard to take
But
like a
yeah.
picture of myself to like figure out like what I was like, hey, like, and then I'm just stuck with this same picture of like, hey, but
Yeah.
I see people and they got, they're like making O faces, and they're, they're just like, they have all these different like Rory is the king of that. Yeah. Like, today, like, oh no, and I'm like,
God. Yeah.
I just, I'm not good at that. I have these pictures on my phone, and sometimes I'll scroll through it. I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, like what have I?" But that's part of it, Like people
Yeah.
see that and they really like it. So you kind of got to get in with the times. Making thumbnails and doing that has been a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing that. It's art, And at the end of the day, I like the way the channel looks when there's a variety of things like that. And you yourself, you are an artist with your skills. Like I want to kind of get back to where your work ethic has kind of developed, and kind of hone in on your 20-year career as a welder and just kind of overall technician. And your sim rig is a product of that. Like we have an entire I have an entire slideshow of this sim rig, starting from what looks like just a chair and a wheel on the wall here. And what is that? Is that a Thrustmaster like T80?
Yeah. It's a Thrustmaster TMX, I believe.
Okay.
And that was like this picture, yeah. So this was my first, the one on the wall that was like basically on the Xbox still, and it was like a Forza. Oh, this was Project Cars I was trying on
And
the
a big old
Xbox.
beanbag chair.
Yeah, it was like, but the like it. This is also the story with VR. Like the screen racing never stuck with me. It was like, yeah, it's okay, but nah. And then a friend of mine one day called me up. He said, "I got a VR headset." And I was like, "Okay, bro, whatever." Yeah, in the sim rig, it's really cool. I'm like, "Okay, we'll just hop over and see if I like it." At this time, mind you, I was saving money. Like I was like not really passionate about anything. I was doing a lot of welding works and like was just building and like I had this goal of like paying off the house. So it's like if I get a bunch of cash, then can pay off the house or something. I don't know. But it was a little bit different because I saw VR for the first time. It's like, oh my god, this is it. This is what I need. So I borrowed a laptop with a 2070 with it was like a 12 no HTC headset I could borrow from him. His old set,
Nice.
massive
Yeah.
screen door effect, really horrible visuals. I had a laptop that was basically a cooking pan. That's how hot it got to
Oh,
render
jeez.
that VR stuff. And then, yeah, at some point there was this time with the Corona that you got like the GPUs were like really expensive. So I bought like a 3080 PC, got myself a Quest 2, and started playing Assetto Corsa. But then I was still not doing YouTube or whatever. I was just racing. But then I can only do like 3 races a day, and then I'm like done. I have no more. Like you see guys driving like 6 hours on streamers. Like that's not that I
Yeah,
don't get enjoyment from these long sessions.
See, I do. I'm a grinder. I will sit here and
Oh.
quali for 10 hours. Like, and then that's when I knew I loved this because I was like, I'm not getting tired of this. I'm not getting bored of this. I got the ADHD complex too. Like, what's the next thing? Like, if I feel like I've mastered something, I'm like, I want to go master something else, But dude, this is like the depth you're talking about makes my brain get excited because I'm like, all right, I got new challenges, new things to think about. I can't wait.
Yeah. So,
when did you decide
like,
that, okay, I'm going to build my own rig instead of just buying one?
well, yeah, if you're a welder, and it's welder, but it's more like I'm more like someone that like builds it from scratch. So the projects we were doing was like you got this pack of paper and drawings, and we would build like a machine or a fuel tank or like a system for like the food industry. So you got like a pump, like storage tanks, frames where it all was built up on, and we were building things from the ground up with construction materials, and it was all stainless steel, and we were doing this like forever. So when you're sim racing and you think to yourself, man, I need like a construction for this, and I will get a real car seat, because if I have to buy a rig, I can from the welding and building things, I can already see on most sim rigs, and doesn't matter how flashy the names are, they're always like compromised in weight and in strength in my eyes. Only the real profile aluminium rigs are, I think, really strong, and there are some
these things
other
are pretty
rigs
tough.
that but then you pay like $1,500 or euros for it, or 2 grand.
Yeah, I mean this GT Omega,
Right?
I mean, I think is still over 2,000. It's
Yeah.
they are not
So
cheap, man. That's for sure. It's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. I mean,
yeah,
before you
and
know it,
and
you got 5, 10, $15,000 rigs on these channels.
yeah. But it's also like how it starts. You start with like you buy a cheap wheel, and you try it, and you got a little bit of an upgrade. You think, maybe I need a bigger screen. And then you think, maybe I need another wheel, and it grows. It looks like if you see the images, I don't know how much, like if you're gonna show the later
Yeah,
images.
now we're on the new seat. I think I see what a DD1 on there. I see a whole cockpit being built now. Like this is wild.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I just created like a stainless steel rig. Yeah, this one I see on the stream. It's a little bit behind, but that's one that I've built for a friend of mine. He got the same one that I'm using. And because I'm VR racer, I need every adjustment,
Mm-hmm.
like that you can imagine. So I can adjust the wheel, like the angle, how far it is away from me.
Right.
My seat can go up and down, and all of these adjustments I want, because in the VR avatar is for every car a little bit different. So
Mhm.
when it completely matches, then the VR experience is also better. So
That's
yeah, and then
wild,
I
man.
just built it myself, and like for a few €100 I can get all the materials and create a design that like I like, and this is the third iteration where I'm sitting on now. So yeah, I see the image now with the that's the one I have now. And as I am VR racer, I'm not so concerned with button boxes or
Yeah.
flashy things on the rig because I'm just in VR, so everything
You want it
is
to be functional. You want it to actually work.
yeah.
So tell me,
Yeah,
how do you
that's
like that Moza, man? I actually got the privilege of meeting Ishmael, who is I believe the North American marketing sales manager now for Moza, and got to see like their new vision, the Porsche wheel. They got the Lambo wheels now. They're like meeting with all these car manufacturers and like developing 2-spec wheels. Like he told me the only difference between shout out to Mr. GT7 who's in here, man. He made all this happen.
also Mrs. GT, but also Yaki, and I saw Leon there over there. Leon Valio, mate.
So
Welcome, man.
shout out to those guys. But Moza is on this new. Moza's like they haven't been around that long, but they've hit the freaking ground running. And I see a lot of people that are converting to Moza. And for PC, like, why did you kind of fall on the R9 and this specific wheel?
Well, I was running a Fanatec before, the CSL DD bell driven, I believe, and then I got the DD direct drive. But then there was this area where Fanatec was on a rough patch with like the bad publicity and stuff. Like it was like 1 year ago, if I'm not mistaken. And Moza just approached me and he said, "Do you want to make 3 videos and we'll send you this kit?" And I'm like, okay. And
See, that's the dream, man. Like, how many people are watching right there just like,
yeah,
Moza, call me.
yeah, but also they're also I also was like 70, 80 videos over there, so it was like
Yeah.
it's easier to just buy it. It's gonna be so much easier to just buy it.
I see you working. Is there like so are you affiliate with Moza? Do you got like a link and stuff that people can use?
Yeah, at the time I did, but I also didn't really understand sales.
Right.
And my channel is also not focused on wheelbases. So if you call me, it's not like I do have like my area of expertise, I think, I where I focus on. And sometimes I do get some emails, "Oh, you want to promote this? You want to promote that?" I said, "I'm not gonna sell you anything. It's not a fit."
Yeah.
If like same as for other other stuff. With this base now, what I was going to say, I'm actually really happy with this. This is just doing what it should do. And there are plenty of brands that are like twice, three times the price or more quality or whatever. And I'm looking at those things. But at Moza, currently, I reached out to them this week, coincidentally, said, "Look, I have options. I can upgrade this stuff. I want to upgrade this stuff to because I'm on the torque, I'm a bit low. I need a bit more torque, because I'm clipping it sometimes.
Yeah.
Clipping means that it's on the full force and gets really hot.
So you're thinking
times,
like the 12?
Yeah, I was more thinking like 16 or something.
Yeah.
I
tried
12
the
is enough,
9.
though.
I tried the 9 is a nice wheel. We had the R9 bundle. I think we had the R3, the R5, and the R9 this past week. Which was really cool with the motion is you didn't need much from the wheel. You actually could turn the feedback off the wheel, and the rig was doing all the work. So a lot of the a lot of the vibrations and and the G forces and the angle and different thing, the traction loss, all that is in the rig, which is really cool. But I'm assuming that because your rig is so freaking solid, that force feedback is going to be really important. I mean, that thing looks like a tank.
Yeah, to be honest, now currently in Le Mans Ultimate, on some areas on track with curbs, the force feedback is really sensitive, and at times I get too much force feedback at certain places. I think it's too strong. It's not like I cannot handle it, but it's like it's influencing the way I want to drive,
right,
in a way. So I don't need more
beats your
force,
arms up too.
Yeah, well, you get some muscle pain when you do it for the first time. Yeah, you need to adapt to it.
I heard at the expo, I heard Moto say something. We had this guy come up and he was like, "Yeah, I'm a sim racer. This is this," and he wasn't like the biggest kid in the world, but this guy's forearms were massive, like just He's like, yeah, I've been sim racing for like 5 years. And Moto was like, you could always spot the sim racers for their giant forearms. Because they do, man. You just keep cranking up the feedback. And there's like the one guy, was it Sim Racer Muscle or something like that, but he cranks it up like full on. He's like a bodybuilder, and he's just, I've heard some horror stories about like wheels blowing out the side and, and things happening. You could really actually get hurt with this stuff, man.
Oh yeah, you can break your. I believe at some point, at some Newton meter mark, you need actually like a emergency stop to it.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
make
I
it
actually
stop.
got an emergency stop button because this motion can get pretty violent. It's got I think even the motors, we were running it, they were saying like it was like 40% and it's still throwing like 20 Newton meters. So we actually got straps and stuff that they sent me and everything. Like I'm gonna have to get, 5-point harnesses and everything, and the bucket seat and stuff like that. Cause the more you get into this immersion level, like what do you think is next? Like now that you got VR, what's the next piece? You were talking of some other thing. You think you got wind as well?
Yeah, I had the wind simulators, but I thought if I get some wind, then on the high speed, it's gonna give me something. But the reality is more like it's cooling me only.
Yeah.
I was thinking like maybe it's like you get some simulation in the car, and you get like if you're driving like 250, even in a cockpit car, you're gonna have like these vents. You're gonna have some airflow. And
I was wondering
was
about
really,
that. Like, will you actually feel air in the car, when you're driving, or because I've looked at the vents and I'm like, well,
yeah.
like, is it the AC
Well, at
that I'm
250,
feeling?
at 250, and you got like this. Sometimes you have like these hoses, like a small air cap that it's gonna let air into the car or something. That really starts to do something, I think, when you do 250 plus.
Interesting. So that is
I think.
actual like, because I see some of these rigs, man, and they're awesome. I mean, fully encased. It looks like they're actually sitting in a car, triple screens, and but you see them little wind vents, and I'm like, I guess I need those. Like what is that going to do for me? But I heard that it helps with like the vertigo and stuff in VR. It actually kind of gives you a sense where it gives the brain a little bit of feedback, so it's not messing up the equilibrium or however that works. We talked a lot about that at the expo because we were running those Pimax crystals with the full motion. And I mean, I think you have the same headset, don't you? You're running the Pimax.
Yeah, I have the latest version of the 8K OLED. It's
And
absolutely amazing.
they're insane.
Yeah.
Those are absolutely insane.
I mean the jumps from when I started sim racing with the Quest 2 to this, it's insane. What we used to do on our old systems on ACC, we had like 3080, and then we would do on the Quest 2 the highest possible image, like when it looked actually super nice, and then you got like 4 frames per second. And at the moment with these headsets and some optimization, especially in Le Mans Ultimate, it's really good for VR. That's also a very important point for me that I stick with Le Mans Ultimate at the moment, is that it looks so good. It's like there's a few details that remind you that you're still playing a game, but it is like the shadows, the driving. If I'm not racing for a few days and I put my headset on again, it's like I'm sitting in the car again. Really,
yeah,
it really is like that.
I've tried. So I've had like a Oculus, Meta Quest 3, the VR2, and I really, that's one of the reasons I really love Gran Turismo on my off time, because it's kind of hard to stream in VR. I think you've talked about that a little bit, and kind of the experience for the viewer and kind of what the views should be, et cetera, et cetera. But it's fun. Like in my off time, I really enjoy being in VR. And then I know with motion, after trying this whole week, it's crazy how nice that those crystals are with. And I was trying to, I got a video that's coming out of me kind of reacting to it for the first time, but there's no dragging, there's no tracing. I actually got out of the car in VR when we were playing Dirt Rally 2.0, and that's like an 8-year-old game, but I was able to get out of the car and like look at the car and realize that it actually doesn't have tires on it, and it's just a freaking frame of a car. But getting in it and then like looking at the driver and like looking over at the driver's notes even, and how accurate it was. Like there are things that I don't know, the tracking of my eyes, like when my eyes moved, I didn't actually have to move my head. I mean, it's crazy. And then the flight, I was like, oh my gosh. And then they have the Pimax Dreams that are coming out, which is the same
Yeah.
8K.
Oh, yeah.
It's so light.
Yeah.
Like I could play with those things for 4 or 5 hours on my head. And that's
Yeah.
the one thing
It's
I
the
have with
future, yeah.
VR is like the it'll make me break out sometimes, and but they got cool little pads and stuff. But them Dreams, man, I don't know if you've tried those or if you need to get a hold of Pimax, or maybe I'll like connect you with Yob and be like, you need to try the Dreams, because they're the same as the crystals, but they're so light.
Yeah, it for me, like, there was like, at the moment I don't understand how Pimax is running their sales at the moment, because I have good contact with the Pimax company, and I have this affiliate partner in Pimax self. This person I have a lot of contact with about creating content, and like how much sales they have from their headsets and all that stuff. And I said to the guy, I'm like, listen, you got this Dream Air coming up. I cannot say to people to get these super headsets now. They need to wait for the Dream Air.
Dude, the Dreams are nice. Oh my gosh. They are. So, and even when you put them on, right? So they're way smaller, but you do see, like, when you put them on, you see like the white ring around, right? And you think, oh, am I going to see this white ring the whole time? But as soon as the simulator starts up, it's gone. It's almost like you're not looking to the corner of your eyeballs all the time like you are to try to find a critique on these things. And that is literally the only critique, is like the field of view. But we were running it in DCS, the flight simulator, in the P6, and I mean it was, it's amazing. And they weigh nothing. They weigh nothing, and the harness on them is like cloth and it's not even like a hard plastic. It's the strap is super light. It's amazing, man. And they don't get hot. Like, I noticed the crystals after about 4 or 5 hours, and we were running them things for 10 hours straight, but after a while they get a little hot. We'd have to cool them down. But the Dreams, we never had to cool down. And so yeah, definitely reach out, man. I tell you 100% that when you put those things on, it's going to be a game changer. They're beautiful.
Interesting. Yeah, I always wondered why. It's product iteration and development. I mean, they had to make these bigger ones first to figure out the small ones. I don't know how that works.
Well, the crystals, they have, you can do a whole bunch of swapping. Like, the crystals do have like more tech to them, when it comes to, like, I think capabilities. But as far as like being in VR playing the game, they have the same display. They got the same 8K OLED. Like, it's crazy. Like, I told that we're going to be able to get a significant discount on them and stuff, but man, I'm setting myself to transition to that.
I think I can get them. I think they will send it to me, and I will test them, and I will make reviews of them as well.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited for you to see them. They had Kirith, he showed up. Kirith got to try him out. I think it was Linus showed up. He was trying them out. We had the creator of Star Citizen was in our booth. So he was over there running them. Like, it was really amazing. And then the reactions, obviously, because I'm new to this, so I've tried some things, but to be able to try like the industry best and get to play with it and run it, like, they didn't break down. They didn't. It was really cool. So this kind of turned into a Pimax commercial, but shout out to those guys. They really are. It really is amazing. So VR, are you going to add motion to your rig at all, or is that kind of something that you're skipping over? How does that work?
Well, I don't really. I think the motion for me currently is still a bit too steep to buy, but it's also not practical for me because it's gonna make noise, maybe, or it's gonna be. I don't know. I'm on the top. Is it because I'm thinking? Because I think that for me, I want to maybe do some like bass shakers to produce some sort of, like, when I'm drifting a little bit, or like on slip angle, and like this. I feel more for these minor movements.
I got a
than the whole motion thing. But
not too long ago. So I've been now since this. So in September, I got to go out to the Sim Gaming Expo out in Chicago. And I got to try everything from the DOF in-home motions and the PDK with Arc Dynamics and the Vero motions. I tried the Vero motion 6 DOF. I tried everything all the way into the Driven Dynamics. Their rig that's I believe it's about $120,000 to $150,000. 6 DOF. I tried the SimLab. Their full rig, which is about 80, starting at 80,000. I tried the SimLab, Vero Motion. Who else? There's so many out there, right? But I mean, everything from a $2,000 rig all the way up to a $200,000 rig. And so this whole week I spent running the DOF P6, which is their performance 6 DOF rig, and that thing runs between $7,500 to about $8,000 in home. But zero sound. And this isn't, these aren't actuators, these aren't D-boxes, these aren't, they're not rumbling you. And we've seen those. Like, I ran the Track Racer D-box rig at this last expo, and shout out to everybody. I love everybody. But it's vibration, right? It's trying to get the most out of tilt and vibration, and that's what those things are doing. But when you get into the degrees of freedom, you get into these suspension rigs like the P6 or even the H3 that I'm getting, and you have that traction loss, you got the sway, you got the tilt. The braking is my favorite part, because when I'm still in the car and I'm moving forward and I'm getting pushed into my brake, and that added with the VR, like, oh my gosh, like, I really need you to try it. So maybe I'll put you in contact with DOF, man, and like. It is an amazing aspect of it. And I don't know what I would do afterwards. In September, I got addicted to it. I've spoken it. I've manifested it into existence. I've worked my butt off to get a motion rig and actually picked it up on the 21st. I drove 16 hours round trip to go pick it up. So I'll be building over the next week my motion rig. And the next thing I need to do is I need to upgrade my PC. So like I said, I'm talking with Bill over at Built PC to try and work that out. I do want to get the Pimax Dreams. Like, it will be a must. It is a have to have in that. And so the next kind of wave of my channel, I think, is going to be building into that full immersion, man. And I'm really excited for it. So I think if you tried it, I think if you experienced it, it's going to be amazing. But I did
I think so too.
I did get this Woozer vest, which is a haptic system. This is the Woozer 3, and I call that the poor man's motion. So if you try it, it's got this has 6 different haptics all over it, and it's amazing. Feeling like in the cockpit, feeling like the rumble of the car, and feeling shift points, the transmission kick, and things like that is really amazing. And it adds a little bit more, because I got butt kickers on this rig, and then I got a butt kicker underneath, and then I got 4 haptics on each point, and I got to learn how to tune it with SimQ, with SimHub and stuff. But it does. Every little piece that you add to it just invigorates you in driving, man. So I'll sit here and I love it, man. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, if I hear you about this like motion rig stuff, it does remind me a lot of when I started VR the first time. Like, I gotta have this. This is it. Gotta have it. Yeah.
It slows you down. I mean, but at the same time, like, what are you actually trying to do? Are you trying to pretend that you're fast with limitations? Like, oh, I got all this feedback and stuff. I'm trying to be really racing, or are you really trying to feel like you're racing? So I think once you go VR, the next thing is you got to get motion. But if you were to add, I mean, it looks like in your rig, you could probably just add those things, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think I just if I have those 4 cylinders, I can just make a plate or weld a plate, and I'll just. I have something else, by the way. So that's the downside of having a custom rig. Like, nothing will fit because you need to create it yourself.
Right.
But what I did build last month, because I want to get into that AC rally. Look at this thing. This is a shifter.
Oh,
This one I actually had to put in.
It's a sequential and the e-brake. I see you.
Yeah, and this one, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I can just put it here. Well, it's not fitting right now, and then I'll have them here, and this isn't something I need to weld. But then if I would have like a motion system, there's just a bit of welding to do. And
You know what I learned actually. So actually looking at your setup right there. So one thing I learned, I didn't know this until setting up with Moto. Shout out to Moto, who taught me so much about like rally and everything. Just couldn't have done this expo without him. But we had to drill our base plate for our sequential and our e-brake, because you actually don't want the e-brake coming straight at you. You want it cocked to the right so that the angle is pulling towards you. So we had to like fabricate all that stuff. Like it's like a hot rod, you know, you just keep changing it and fabricating it to, you know, what you like. And that's one of the amazing things about all this, and why I like to show the rig progress is it's all different. You know, I look at Dutchy. I don't know if you know Dutchy, GT with SimRacing. He's an amazing dude.
I was with him in the car to the expo.
Oh, really? Okay. So Dutchy is one of my favorite people. He's on like TikTok now. So, or not TikTok. He's on Twitch, you know, a lot now. And I don't get on that. I don't even have a Twitch account. I kind of started, but I'm just a singular kind. I'm gonna stick to YouTube and just stay on it. So I miss a lot of his streams. But he did a full custom rig build out of, you know, wood and stuff, and it came out amazing. You know, so I really admire the guys who go and do that. Same thing with Yaki, same thing with Marley Diesel. Like, you know, these guys have built really amazing setups, and it's kind of like hot rods, you know. And I saw somebody saying, you know, you might as well just go get yourself an old Beamer, or, you know, I've heard go get a Miata and like actually race for real. Like, do you want to take this onto the track, like for real, or are you good, you know, in the protection of your home?
It's an interesting idea, right? Because sometimes it looks like people lay that out for you. Like, okay, so what's next? You're gonna race real cars? What Max Verstappen already called you to do car setups? You know, these kinds of things. And I don't know. I would love to, but I wouldn't know how to afford all of that. It's too expensive.
It is. It's crazy. I could not afford any of this. So
I was one time I was in on because I know some real race car drivers now. They approached me. They want to get better in the sim. How does the setup work in the sim compared to real life? Blah blah blah. You know, I know a lot of things that won't work in the sim and that will work in real life, and vice versa. Just because of these conversations. But if you want to do like DTM or something, or like I don't know how to call it, but was in Holland on Assen on a circuit. But it basically means you need to, like, if you have the team and a few cars, you need to bring 10K a weekend to drive.
Oh yeah, it's wild. Well, that was one of the topics at the Sim Gaming Expo, was that I kept asking these guys is I mean, you guys have $150,000 rigs, you know, like, are you guys trying to, you know, sell these to like movie stars? You know, like who's the demographic, right? Because I'm always into sales and marketing. You know, it's just something that on the other side. And when you're talking about like, you know, the cost of this stuff, in my head, I'm like, you know, just hit me up. We got a whole crew that brokers sponsorships on behalf of content creators. I'm not a big channel at all, you know, but I know how to sell myself. I know how to, you know, provide some kind of value in what I can do and what others can do. And we have like kind of a pool of content creators that are working together right now. But one thing I learned at the Sim Gaming Expo is these guys, if you're running a track car at the top levels, right, you're spending $250,000 a week just to track the car, you know, between tire, fuel, expense, all the things they do. That's with no damage.
Yeah.
That's what's insane. And then even on the low levels.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like all the stuff that is around it, you know, the plane tickets, name it, all the distribution of stuff.
Yeah.
Breaking down, stuff wearing out. You know,
it is
like
a rich sport.
These engines they wear out like crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like they don't want the best new top of the line. Like, I wonder how much, you know, like ideas get thrown out because a new idea just came in, and parts and things are getting thrown around, and tires, and it's wild. But the simulator, I think, because now we're in this day and age, and simulation has been around for a long time. But I had a pilot that I was talking to, and he was like, you know, the simulator at Boeing is multi-million-dollar simulator. You know, these things are full 360 visuals, full cockpits, full everything, because it's saving lives. I met a guy who does military simulation for tanks and fighter jets and
Oh yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
had a guy show up at the expo and he purchased 4 DOF H4s, and he says we're going to put helicopter equipment on it because we're going to have these on the carriers, and they're going to be training flight paths for our pilots before they go out. You know, like, you're saving lives, you know, with this kind of tech. So for us hobbyists, we're like, you know, we're trying to get pieces of this stuff and put together what we think we need. But I mean, it's a never ending hole, man. It's never ending.
It's also so much easier to produce now, and
Yeah.
you know, the best thing about this really expensive stuff is that it like raises the bar and what is possible, but it also makes other stuff more accessible to more people, I think. So because it's just like more people want it, so more people, like Camus, for instance, they got like wheelbases, direct drive wheelbases for what, like 200 euros, $200 or something.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you can
mean,
get, well, you got what, PXN, I forget who it's who we met at the expo, but
yeah,
just
well, you got all these brands popping up already, and
$250 12 Newton meter wheels. You know, like,
if you get some plywood, you get some pedals, you put some springs on that, get a decent screen, and you can start.
you're no longer gaming,
it's
now you're
awesome.
driving.
Now you're driving.
Yeah. And I always felt that. I always felt I was a better driver than I was a gamer. So when I played any kind of sim racing on a controller, I would be frustrated because I'm like, man, put me in a real car. I'm not going to be going off. I'm not going to do that. Like, so it's kind of that game of trying to figure out how you can take away the game and add the real life to it, you know? And I mean, once you go VR, it kind of seals the deal with that. But VR, motion, the wind, you know, all the different screens and all the different things that you're adding, the haptics, and, you know, you got guys with full cars now. Like, they're building actual cars into simulators and they're in their house. And I'm like, life goals, man. Life goals. And those guys are like, the one dude said he only spent like $500 at the junkyard, you know, for all that stuff. And I was like, okay, maybe I just need to get smarter.
But for me, it's like, for me, because I'm like the buying different gear and enjoying that. But I do really like a part of the competition. I really like to go into these races, enjoy the gear, and taking trying to get the most out of it. Try to get the most out of my skill is like 1.5 second off the. If I would be in an esport championship, I would be 1.5 second off the pace.
Is that something that drives you, the competition side? Because that's
no, it's there's a limit to it, and I need to constantly remind myself that I will that I won't go there, because it's a really the skill levels difference get really steep in the top. So everybody, I really believe that a lot of people can get up to my level. I really believe that. But to get to the next level, to get like really fast, like exceptionally fast, you need to have some sort of like a different skill level, or some sort of like a talent.
Yeah.
Or you need to grind and grind. And the grinding that I did was in the content and in the videos and in the channel and in the business.
There's something special there. And
that's what I pushed. And that's what I'm pushing.
Yeah.
But I could also choose for pushing that into lap time. But I don't get it. Like I said before, I don't get the enjoyment out of grinding 9 hours. It's just like a few races. I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And then I want to get into it. I want to research stuff, and then I want to share that on videos. And that's where my grind goes. So I think I never get an opportunity to say this, but I got 2 choices 3 years ago: or grind the ultimate lap time, or grind the YouTube and the influencer side of it. So I chose the second one.
That's interesting. You know, I remember speaking with Z28, formerly Z28 Zector 1 now, talking about, he was kind of telling me, he was like, everything kind of ends up being a young man's game. You know, there are people in the world who get to do this round the clock. And some of those times you are seeing are from people who are doing this round the clock. They don't have kids. They don't have jobs. This is their job. You know, they're preparing for this. They're being bred for this. They're being trained for this.
Yeah.
They're being sponsored for
Yeah.
this. They have the best of everything. And it's really special when you do see some creators that are able to play in that world. You know, you got some guys like you mentioned, you got SimGT, you got real guys that really race that are coming into the content creation side, you know, and those skills replicate and they're insanely fast. But you do have to
Yeah.
recognize there are limitations to this, and don't drive yourself nuts losing the
Oh, it's so
fun
easy.
chasing the
It's so
stress.
yeah. It's also very ego based. So
Yeah.
your ego needs to be fed. I really, I really have this. I watched like a few of these podcasts about destroying the ego and all that stuff. It's also not the solution, by the way, but um, it's like it's so zero sum game. The winner, the fastest, and not getting there. It's so like it can be also very demotivating at
Yeah.
times. So it's also important to let that go every now and then.
Yeah, I see people
just
get burnt
accept it.
out a lot. You know, like you're
Yeah, yeah,
doing this
yeah.
full time, and I'm curious as to kind of how have you managed keeping the passion alive while also trying to make sure that you're producing, you know, as a father and as a husband, and you know the things that matter at the end of the day. How do you juggle that? Are you still loving this? Is it still like that much fun, or have you what are some of the things you tell yourself to keep that alive?
Well, for me, it's like yeah, I don't know. I just love this so much. So I will, and it never feels like work to begin with. And the content I really like, and I like to get stuff done. And I have goals. I have some really big goals that I want to achieve and I want to get to. Um, but I also am very conscious of the fact that if I did, let's say tomorrow morning, I might wake up 5 o'clock in the morning and I would think, oh, I've got this massive script idea for the next video. I'm just gonna go out of bed and write that script. I know from my own system that I'm using the last 6 7 months doing this full time, that the real creative part of this is only gonna last like 2 or 3 hours max, and then I can get into some DMs and some emails and talk with people and do some races or whatever. And then it's just for the family, like evening time, and like I do one stream a week or two streams a week, and the rest evenings is for the family and kids and whatever. And the most work is done in the morning. So I really think that your creative part and the passion is done in the morning, early mornings. I really believe that, and I just love this so much, and I like the content, and when you begin and when you're not growing and you don't have followers, it's just like getting better at the YouTube and getting better as a creator, getting better at sim racing, understanding things. It's just curiosity and obsession,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Well,
knowing when to stop for a little bit. It's also important.
one of the things I did early on to help me with the psychology of it is I turned off all the tickers. I turned off the YouTube counter. I turned off the sub counter.
yeah,
I
yeah,
turned off
yeah.
the sub goal.
Yeah.
I turned off all that so that I could just focus on who was here. And like, speaking of the people that are here, we got a couple questions for you. Yaki has asked, what is the first thing you want to achieve this year?
I
guess
want
for the
to
channel.
for the channel. I want for this year. I want like 500 videos,
Ooh,
or 500 pieces of content.
okay.
I want to make more posts. I want to be productive and do stuff, and I want to build the art of lap time. So I have the art of car setups. That is how to create the car setups. It took me 1.5 years to create that. Actually, the real work was like 4 months, but it was like a year of ideas and throwing it away, and new ideas and throwing it away, and like that. And now I want to create the art of lap time, and that's like something I want to help people with getting up to speed. Not necessarily become the e-sporter, but getting to learn things in the simulation, racing wise, 10 times faster than the normal route. So the normal route is like you said, it's a really difficult problem to solve. Like if I just go into Le Mans Ultimate now, what do I need to do? Like how can I start with certain things? And that's what I'm really working on in my head. Like how can I get a super clear answer for this. Like, okay, this is what you need to do, and that's a hard problem to solve, and I'm really motivated by it because it's so hard to solve it. So how can I teach you within like 8 weeks to get up my level
Right.
without
Yeah. No, that's
spending 7 hours a day on it? Because we're all fathers, we all have
yeah.
families. Because the reality is, we are a bit older. We might have some financial possibilities to get into it, but we
Yeah.
don't have the
That
time.
was save me some
So
time. Time is money. If you could teach me how to be, at least in that top, 5% and above, or whatever it is. And I know even the number's crazy smaller than that. The people who are actually competitive on these games, it's like the top, you're already in the top 1-2%, of people who are playing if you're being competitive. But if you could save my time, if you can cut down my qualifying down to a couple hours, a proper methodology, what I should be looking for, these points, boom, boom, boom. Let me run through my checklist. That's
yeah,
where I'm really going to start paying. When are you
yeah. Well,
going?
that's
No, go ahead.
yeah. Oh, sorry. No, I finish up. You were asking something.
No. If you got a response to it, because we got another question. But I
No.
wanted to.
So the art of lap time. That's basically a big goal that I want to achieve this year. That I and it's like it's not. It's gonna. I don't have a target for how much I need to sell of those copies or something, or how much subscribers I want. The only thing I can control is the input, and if I can do lots of good inputs, then we'll see where we end up this year.
Yeah,
So next question.
we got a lot of guys that are, even Mr. GT7 said like you're in the 0.1%, 0.001% of people, because this is.
Oh no, I don't know about that. It's like it's like this. If I go into a split lobby, like a split one, I'm always in split one. Okay, but if it's gonna be like afternoon, early afternoon, I can be P1, sure. But then the aliens wake up. I am happy with P10, P11, and the gaps between it is absolutely demotivating.
It's crazy. It's
a
crazy.
huge gap still. It's yeah, I don't know. I don't know how people see me. I know there are people that know me, that race against me, and I don't know. I keep it social on track because I have a reputation to protect. I think
Yeah.
I'm not really a racer. I don't really.
Make
I'm more
friends.
social racer like that. Like if somebody really wants to cut me inside every time, then please take the position and
Yeah.
fight the guys in front of you, please. But
I'm feisty. I'm still learning. I'm still learning that. I've always tried to be nice, but I let the door open sometimes too much, I guess. But inside of my competitive spirits, like, but I got to respect the aliens, and you got to respect racecraft. That's something I've definitely tried to pay attention this year. Mr. Leon wants to know when you're going to visit Mexico or Canada so we can meet each other.
Yeah, Leon, we definitely need to meet because Leon has been my first Patreon member.
Oh, that's what's up.
I will never
Shout out to
forget that.
Leon. Those are the kind of people, man, that the day ones, the A1s since day ones, man. Like I love all of like, the team that I became a part. That's why it's so hard for me to leave Gran Turismo right now. Like I do play ACC on the side. I have iRacing downloaded and I need to kind of get into it. I hear a lot of good things about LMU, so I'm probably going to go the LMU route because I like I like that class of racing, and I just feel like it'll kind of flow together really well. And then what you're saying about the VR, because I do want the Pimax, I do want that experience, but it's the people and the friends you meet. Like we got a whole group right now that's out at Daytona watching the race live, and it's meeting like Moto in person, and it's crazy when have you ever met a content creator and it's just like, brother, like it's so amazing to meet you. Like it's really cool how you develop these friendships, and then in real life, like have you had a chance to do that? I guess you did because at the SimRacing Expo.
Yeah, SimRacing Expo. I'm already so thrilled for next year already. Last year was kind of like I was like, I don't know, it was like 3,000 subscribers or something. I'm just using subscribers as like a measuring stick here, but when the last year, obviously a lot more popularity on the channel, and really got into contact with people from the chat and the community, and I stayed only one a night, but this year I wanted to do 2 days, and yeah, meeting the people, and like I have like people that approach me that I didn't know. I don't know how they look. They know how I look, but I said please approach me. We'll talk. And I spoke with multiple people, and also like Yaki over here, we're gonna go to
Are you a giant like
birthday of
Yaki?
her.
I feel like I could
Yeah,
spot Yaki anywhere.
yeah, Yaki, we're gonna go to we're gonna visit someone soon, and we're gonna be together again. And yeah, I mean, these are just friendships,
So
great,
proud of
great,
Yaki.
great friendship. Because
Another
the friends,
amazing person. Like that guy can build. Have you seen his like dartboards and all the cool stuff
yeah,
that
yeah,
he
yeah,
like?
yeah,
Dude, Yaki is awesome. We love Yaki. Misa loves Yaki. She said to say
yeah.
hi. I'm sure she already has, but I was definitely there for the beginning of his grind. Somebody I just, it's so late, like the time difference. Like right now, it's getting into the evening hours for you, and I'm, it's mid afternoon for me. It's 1:30 in the afternoon, so it's hard with the time differences, but that's also what's special about it. I feel like at any time with this little sim racing world, and it's cool to find channels that embrace people who play different games, and you don't have to be like, I know a lot of crap talking happens and banter, but it really is a special community when it comes to acceptance, and people are helping people transition into, newer games and more challenging levels of simulation. We got another question for you. Let's see what Sim4 said. He said, when you start or have to, I don't know. He didn't finish this question. But let's take some time to kind of look at the chat. Thank you, Mr. Gutter the Great. I feel like I directly influenced Mr. Gutter the Great to start influencing with his little dono there. Appreciate you,
Oh
big
yeah,
dog.
nice.
Thank you for supporting. But awesome, dude. Awesome. He's got his whole channel. Really cool group of people. But is there? Let me kind of look back through. I want to go back to Mr. GT78, who kind of brought us all here together today. He's been building out like a super immersive simulation rig as well. And if you have any advice to anybody out there who's trying to build their own setup, should they just come to you and like ask you for advice, or is there anybody else that you would kind of redirect them to? What would you say to those who are like, you know what, you're inspiring today. I'm gonna go out and build my sim rig.
Well, if you were just starting, I would just start with wood. Really, it's really easy to build. I think you can just get some wooden beams or whatever, and try to figure out a good seat that you can screw on top of that with a wheel. And if you feel that position is good for you, then you also have the draft for something more serious stuff to test out. I think it's most cheap way to get into it, and it's still really strong.
Yeah,
Um,
wood's a good way to go, because not all of us are welders, man. And
no, I really understand that.
I don't know if my upstairs could hold your rig. Are you upstairs? I see like the A-frame at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
top. All right, so
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
It's
falling through the floor
yeah,
yet.
but we have concrete floors, so
Okay.
it's
So
kind of strong.
not everybody can weld together a tank like that, I'm sure. But how hard was that getting upstairs, or did you like bring it up in pieces?
No, it's actually a really big. We need with two guys. We got it in here. So
Nice. I would have myself the motion rig is not light. It's probably about 175 pounds, right somewhere in there. So it definitely takes a two-man person to move it. I like to finish the stream with asking about channel names, but the cool thing is like you actually use your name. What was the idea behind kind of putting your name out there? Did you start with your name out there? What was that process like?
So my name, SimRacing Arnout, was kind of like in a world where everyone tries to be really special with everything. It's just like it is about sim racing and it's about me. So let's just keep it simple. And SimRacing Arnout.
I
That's
love this guy.
was it that like that from the beginning. I also was thinking about like doing some fancy name or a nickname or but then again, I really didn't have any nickname back in the day, and I would really want people to understand from a branding perspective that this is like this is the brand. This is me. This is Arnout,
Yep.
and it's about sim racing, and that's all. And I think that my name is like easy to. If you type in my name on Google, SimRacing Arnout, if you can, maybe it's a bit tricky to spell, because I was thinking about a lot about
Yeah,
like
I kept doing
how
Arnott.
brands work in. Yeah, and also it's kind of a joke that people not from Holland are really struggling with the name. But yeah,
You're
SimRacing
doing
Arnout, and
something right, man. Like I said, you've been doing this for 3 years and you've had a lot of success recently. You're definitely in the algorithm. I mean, you have figured out kind of how to appeal to folks, and you brought something that provides value to people and it saves them time. And that's really special. You've created forever content, and that's something that I wanted to try and do with Behind the Wheel, with my own little skill set, and being, communicating with people and loving to hear people's stories and kind of diving into what makes them them. Behind the Wheel is not about your accolades as a racer, or who's the fastest, or who's the biggest channel. We've had some cool names on here, but I really enjoy talking to people that I can relate to, that the community relate to, that the few dozen people that come across this just are inspired and feel better after watching this. I see, like I said, I see a lot of podcasts popping up and a lot of people starting to talk to each other and interview each other. And I like to think that maybe I influenced some of that, coming in, the year, this is, like I said, this is year number 2 that we're going into. And my channel's had a little bit of success, and you never know what opportunities are around the corner. But if you don't make the content, if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to get anywhere. Period.
yeah, and the content part is I really have my first affiliate partner, Only Fools Gaming, and Yaki also is a partner.
Ha,
Um,
Yaki.
yeah, but I really want to help the smaller guys as well, because I don't see myself as a big guy, but I think that and this is maybe also good to end with, the algorithm and the recommendation system is just merciless, but it's also righteous. If you do the right things, you'll get the views. So
I like
even
it.
those algorithms these days are favoring everyone, not just the big creators. They have an advantage, yes, but everyone can. I really believe if everyone can do it, but just need to think it through
Yeah,
mindfully.
I've seen some channels, and I think having each other's backs, like you said, collaborations, getting yourself into that algorithm and doing the righteous things, being right by each other, not being envious or jealous or trying to do things out of spite, but do things out of creativity, do things out of, want and how to, and add your little flavor to it. Don't feel like you got to be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everybody else. I really, it's hard, when we see channels carbon copying each other, but at the same time, it's like, they're on their grind. So I respect everybody who's out there. I love my community. Everybody who stopped in today, you guys are awesome. What do you say, Lambo pals? Is that what he's saying? Do you drive the Lambo? What do you drive? What's your favorite car?
Well, it's hard to pin down a favorite car, but I aim towards Japanese
Okay.
brands.
Okay. You
So
actually drive JDM, right? I think we got a,
yeah. I
we
bought.
have.
I used. Yeah, yeah. You have a picture of that still?
Yeah. Hold on, let me get back to it. There it
I
is, the
really
Celica
like
GT, right?
the GT. It's 2 liters, 16 valve, and
Okay.
that machine. I got so lucky with that car when I bought it. I bought it for 2 grand. Can you imagine?
Oh, I can't. I've bought and sold a lot of cars. That's where my passion for cars come from. Is I've probably bought and sold privately, somewhere between 50 and 70 cars. When you throw in all the bikes I've had several Porsches, several Corvettes, several Beamers, a whole lot
Oh,
of, I've had some really fun cars that I'll buy them, clean them up, sell them. It was a really cool way to make some quick cash and make some money. But I don't know if I've ever had a Celica. I had a really cool Ford Focus SVT.
oh,
That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I was just on dirt roads on that thing. I was doing, power slides and trying to do a full 360 in that thing. But yeah, man, this looks
yeah.
like something you could have some fun in for sure.
I think my favorite car What I really enjoyed in Forza 7 was the Toyota Trueno, like the rear wheel drive, light,
Oh,
high revving engine,
oh
like
yeah.
that kind of. That was what I really liked.
Yeah, get some
As
American
of my
muscle.
um, but and currently on the GT3 cars, it's a bit like the cars are really much the same. Like there's
Mhm.
the same like division of cars.
Right.
But yeah, I do aim towards Japanese. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. Well, dang, man, it's been an absolute honor to have you here. Going into this, I mean, I really didn't, we hadn't met before formally, but I definitely think this is the beginning of a really cool relationship. I'm going to have to utilize a lot of your knowledge and a lot of the things that you provide for my transition into LMU. So I'm really excited to kind of have that. Thank you, Mr. GT78, for kind of introducing us and recommending this channel. Mr. GT78 is another amazing bright mind when it comes to products and reviews. You guys check out his channel. He's always checking out new tech. He's building out a in-home DIY, very immersive rig right now, and he's doing it the way we would do it, like building it on a budget, not trying to just go buy everything, but being creative with it. So shout out to him. Is there anybody, I'll give you the floor for a minute to kind of shout out the community and thank everybody who came in. But yeah, I'll give you a few minutes to just have it.
okay. Well, I see the chat. The chat was freezing on me like a few minutes ago, but to see the brothers here, here in the chat that I normally have in my own chat, that is a really great. I also I will just keep going. I am sometimes I feel like I'm at the beginning of it all, and I have a lot of ground to cover still. I also want to thank, and this is both like really important, everyone who's on like Patreon, who bought setups, who gave feedback on setups, because the setups are never perfect. We can always improve them. The trust from everyone that got them, using them, and the guys that just in the chat and the support. I mean, I can like make great videos and whatever, but it's all fueled by the community as well. So yeah, that's just something I'm really grateful for. So that's what I want to end with, and I hope I can keep doing this like I don't know for a long time. So
Yeah, man.
there we go.
I appreciate you. Couldn't have said it better myself. To my community members that came in and took the chance to hear this story, and for everybody else who comes across these behind the wheel videos. I really hope that it brings the community together. I hope it promotes positivity. My whole goal from the jump was to just come out here and be a good guy. I got no reason for anybody to watch me. I'm not the fastest guy. I'm not this. I'm not that. I don't consider myself to be any more special than any other person on the planet. But when I get to meet folks like you that are hard workers, fathers, husbands that have a moral compass and are really doing the right thing by this content creation, and I think it's awesome, man. So I appreciate you for being here, and thank you for making episode 27 special.
And thank for inviting me. I mean, I don't know what it was, but I was just clicking through some streams and I'm like, hell yeah, I want to be on that. So there's something you bring for sure.
I
That is
appreciate you, brother.
really yeah. So good stuff, man. Good for you.
Thank you, man. Well, I know it's getting late for you. I will let you go. And until next time, man, have a good day. Appreciate you.
Yo, thanks for having me, man.
Later, man. Wow. What an amazing show. I don't know what to say. That guy is extremely smart, extremely talented, extremely well rounded, an awesome soul, a very good person. Mr. GT78 couldn't have recommended a better streamer to just kind of meet. And a lot of these episodes has been, people that, I'm usually spending a lot of time with. And I feel like I'm going to spend a lot of time with Arnout moving forward because, again, I am slowly making this transition. I'm dragging my feet a little bit because of the magic box and because of the rig and, and wanting to feel motion in GT7. But I cannot wait, guys. I cannot wait to really feel a true simulator and to kind of get, what you guys are getting into to work my brain and to understand new parts of racecraft. Like I really love this, and it's become a really special thing. These behind the wheels have become extremely important to me. We got a few scheduled out. We got DCR Moto coming on. We got Grover's coming in. And like I said, man, it doesn't matter the size of the channel. It just matters that you want to share your story and that you're out here doing this. So thank you guys, Yaki, Tony, Egg, OP, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for everything you've done for me. SimForce, Molder. Let's see, who else do we make sure we don't miss any? LVP, Mr. GT78. Thank you again. I appreciate you a ton. Everybody else who was in here earlier, all our new friends, everybody who's kind of coming across the channel. Thank you, Gutta, for your support. I appreciate you, brother, and everything that you have done for me as well. Rob, as always, SimForce 1, thank you guys. I could go back and back and back, but I mean, you guys are awesome. You guys are what make this valuable and worth it. So I hope I'm doing a good job. I can't wait till the next one, but you guys know what it is, man. Until next time, Viking King is out.
Racing souls of fire inside, chasing dreams where the legends hide. Through the turns, the glory is real. Behind the wheel, we feel the thrill. Papa's house, the crown shines bright. Crazy lanes in the dead of night. Austin GT and Rick B's rain. Grim and the crew driving it insane. Erratic twists and Marley's groove. Nani's grace with every move. Jackal flies and jesters grin. This is the race where we all begin. C20 wave, buzz the track. Touchies roll, there's no going back. Worries pace and TQ stride. Hill and digit, the kingdom's pride. Papa's house, the crown shines bright. Crazy lanes in the dead of night. Austin GT and Rick B's rain. Grim and the crew driving it insane. Legends carved on asphalt's face. Racing royalty holds the space. We honor them, we join the scene. Our favorite racers, the speed supreme.